Okay, so I always recommend when people get a new horse to ride in the same equipment that the previous owner had the horse in. So it's hard to see on this video because it's not truly clear. So I can't tell exactly what bit they have in his mouth, but I would call them up and ask them and have them send a picture to you so you can see, because now you have the horse in a side pull, so that's totally different from what he was in here. And you want to use the same equipment they did so the horse understands what to do and you have the same control until you can gait the horse well. So again, I would call them up and ask and have them send a picture of the bit, and I can help you to find that bit. So the video is a little bit blurry, so it's a little bit hard to see, but as he's gaiting, I'm going to stop it. You want to see that the rider has their hands a little bit wide. They're doing that to probably keep the horse straight. I know this is blurry, but it's wide, and the horse's head is just a little bit above the horn level. And then he's doing what's called a saddle gait. So it might be hard to see just because the video's blurry, but he is gaiting pretty well, but he's on hard ground, which can make a difference on how they're gaiting because the terrain changes what they do with their feet. But he does have his head pretty low. So I want you to see where his head carriage is because that can affect their gait as well. So just a little bit lower than chest level, but he does have the horse's head on the vertical and the horse is semi-collected. And so he's gaiting well with that amount of contact, but he's keeping a nice straight rein on the horse. Now here he's riding without a bridle, but he is not gaiting the horse. So the horse's head is low and his nose is kind of poked out, which is fine because they're going slow. Now here, he's gaiting him, but he's back in the bridle. Okay, so that makes a difference. So again, I would try to get the same bit that they had when they were riding him in this video. And here you can see it a little bit better that they have that horse's head on the vertical, which means that the head is straight up and down. And the horse is kind of semi-collected. He's not all strung out. And then also it helps that they're using their seat and their legs to drive him forward kind of up into that bridle to get him to gait. So here with this rider, they're tilted just a little bit forward, and I would want to see them with their upper body back just a little bit more. He's in different footing, so you're in a deep arena compared to where he was on a road gaiting, and so again that can affect his gait. And then his nose is tipped out a little bit, so as they start riding, let me go back for a second. So as they start riding, they actually pass through one of his gaits, which was slow, but it had a clean 4-beat footfall. So it's right here is his gait. And then they push him past it, and then they start bouncing a little bit because they're going more towards a pace. The horse has most of its weight on its front end, and it's kind of nosing out. And it's not being ridden with any collection. His head's way too low. So you can't ride him like Western horses. Oh, yeah. You want to bend your elbow a little bit more here, take more contact, hold that horse's head straight, and you have him in a side pull. So I would switch him to a bit, the bit that they recommend. But there he's just pacing, so that's not a good gait. So you do have to ride him a little bit more with more contact with a bent elbow. Try to tuck that horse's nose in so it's more, see how his nose is kind of poked out? Have the horse's head more on the vertical. So you got to kind of ride him up into the bridle, and then don't have a loop in the rein. You can probably see that loop right there. So you want a straighter rein, sitting up taller with the upper body back a little bit more. That's a little bit better there. That's a better gait. Okay, so this horse will have a flat walk, which they didn't show you in the other video, but I could see he has that in the beginning of this video you sent me. He has a flat walk and a saddle gait. So you want to practice that flat walk first and have that down pretty well before you start doing the saddle gait, because you want to have a good feel of a 4-beat footfall and what that feels like. So I'm going to go back and show you on here. Okay, so here we go. We're just walking slow again, and your flat walk's going to be right about there, that speed. And he starts to go past it right there. Okay, so you want him slower than this, and we want that head down on the vertical, more contact on the reins, ride with more of a bent elbow, and sitting back with the upper body with the weight on the seat bones more. See how he's bouncing right there? Or she is, sorry, it's hard to see in this video. But that means that the horse is going too fast and we're not riding with enough contact to collect that horse and help that horse in gait. So you usually have to ride them with some semi-collection. So I would go slower first, working on the gait, the first gait, which is your flat walk, and you'll see the horse's head kind of go up and down as it's flat walking, and then you'll see the legs moving separately. So I'm going to rewind this again. So you see how what the horse looks like there. It looks totally different. And again, this is going to be the speed of your flat walk right there. And now I'm going to stop it, okay? But the horse's head needs to be more on the vertical. The body position of the rider right there is actually quite good. And they do have more contact on the rein, which is good right here. But we still want that rein to be pretty straight. And since we saw them riding with a wider hand, I would have the hands wider out, but with contact. And then again, I would use a bit instead of that side pull because that's what the horse is used to. So of course he's going to gait better in the equipment that he's used to. So with your body position, you want to lean back a little bit more. You're tilted slightly forward. So think of sitting straight up and down, or how you would be sitting if you were in a chair. Keep your eyes up, looking where you want to go. Keep a little bit more contact on the rein so you don't have that loop in the rein. So you want to help hold his head straighter. And then with your legs, if you're not strong with your legs, you might have to carry a dressage whip and give him little taps to reinforce your leg. So he's just confused here. He doesn't really understand what's going on. And he's trying to do the right thing. He looks like a nice horse. But you want to sit back more, keep your eye up, carry a stick, and tap him behind your leg if he's not going forward.